street and you hear that heavy beat, can't help but walk your feet down. Oh, wait till you meet people laughing and dancing all night long, and through the flashing lights you see the band playing their old song. And we wanna see the world through different eyes just for tonight, and you're hoping that this night won't end. You'll surrender if you feel the music fold around you and pull you into the light. Flout it takes away all strain and stress and turns it into light just for tonight. Walk your feet down.
All right, here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful Monday night, and tonight we're going to be going over more of the Kiwi stuff. And for that, and like there's been some constructive feedback and criticism of my stream that I haven't been giving enough like context and stuff like that for like who the players are, and oftentimes I just assume that people are up to speed. But the truth is, like, honestly, people aren't going to be, like, coming into this knowing everything that's going on. And it's my fault for not explaining certain things more clearly to everyone. So I'm going to correct that tonight. I'm going to, like, give you the full, proper context as to who the players are and what this is all about. And let me start by talking about the website known as Kiwi Farms. For those who don't know, Kiwi Farms is a website. It's a gossip forum that is known for doxing, harassment, and other malicious activities. What it isn't known for, though, and one reason why I am doing these streams, is because not many people are aware of the behind-the-scenes activities that go on, like the shady shit. In particular, like, we have wannabe mafioso LARPers going behind the scenes and getting on the good sides of specific YouTubers and other e-celebs to aid them in their behind-the-scenes collusions to go after people in a malicious manner over petty vendettas. What are these people? And let me just put that on screen for you guys. Moment. On cat window capture. Let me fix that real quick. Give me one quick moment, guys. Hold on. All right. One quick second as I get the right browser here. Sorry about that. I haven't been on my A game tonight. Bear with me. Bear with me. It'll get good. Here we go. There. One of these people is an individual known as Held. He's somebody that is considered a quote-unquote high-level Kiwi, as we know from the clip I played from Dorn, the first of these 3 streams. You may have noticed that Held has played a particular role in each one of them. That is because, like, he's one of the people that are guilty of the behavior I've talked about behind-the-scenes shit. For example, he has many friends that assist him, such as Junk Dog and Damien. Damien being a moderator for Kiwi Farms, as a matter of fact. And he's befriended many YouTubers, gaining the trust, rubbing them up, and telling them what to do in order to expand his reach and influence in order to tarnish the names of others. I had personally met Held back in February of this year, and like he did the whole shtick where he started to rub up to me and started to, like, get on my good side, tell me what I wanted to hear, etc., stuff like that. And then I found out something, that this entire time he had been shit talking me behind my back, and he also admitted that he was the guy who went ahead and doxed me. And I will show that up real quick so that we can all see it. As you can see here, he admits right here he was following the thread's creation. He even helped to dig. So he's part of a gay op to go ahead and smear my name and attack my character because he had an issue with me for whatever reason. It doesn't really matter. And I also did some more digging into him. And I found out that he was also befriended and smooth-talked and got on the good side of a cosplayer who got involved with the I Stand With Vic community known as Gothic Sushi. Now, she's someone that got some fame and a little bit of notoriety off of all this, and she went ahead and she worked with Kiwis to help dig on her enemies and to go ahead and have them doxxed, which we'll get into that a little bit more in a little bit. And I will show that as well. Because Held was also one of the major players who was simping for Gothic Sushi, as you can see here. Hang on a second. This is actually the wrong screenshot. Give me one quick moment. I'll get the right one up. Okay. This will only take a second. Okay, getting the appropriate image. Give me a quick minute. Okay, let me do this another way. And I'll have that image up right away. Okay. And let me get that up quick. Sorry about that. I thought I had the right image, but that's actually not the right one I want to show. Although, as you can see by that image, Held and Sushi were talking behind the scenes to go ahead and dox people. Main one being... Okay, this one here. Ban that. There we go. As you can see, he says right here, he says, one last question, Sushi. We're Kiwis, and we want infos. Can you give us a list of peoples we should look into? These can also be just Twitter accounts who have had actively attacked you. We do the work if they look promising. Guten Nacht. And Held is German, by the way, which is why he has certain quirks and mannerisms about him. And yeah, and this is Gothic Sushi welcoming the assist. That is to dox people, because as she's well aware, that's what Kiwis do. And I'm going to hide that image now because it's not relevant. Actually, let me just leave it up on screen for a bit so you can soak it all in and see what's going on here. And Held didn't like that and he got big mad at me. And he had he had many arguments with me in DMs, which is what I went over on the previous stream. Now, people didn't like that I pointed out... Oh, and one last thing before I get into it. People have been saying that I've been taking up for Gothic Sushi. I'm not. I have called her a whore multiple times. I have called her out on a lot of the stuff. As much as I don't like Dean, which is I'm going to say for a future stream. As much as I don't like him, he made a lot of valid points with his video. So the fact of the matter is that Gothic Sushi is bad for trying to recruit the Kiwis to dox for her. And also, the Kiwis are also at fault for willingly allowing themselves to be recruited by Gothic Sushi to dox people. So, yeah, that's what's going on there. And Held was a big member and a big contributor to this, as much as he wants to deny it, or he wants to say that I'm omitting context. Which, by the way, he says that these aren't the full logs. There's more information. Just in this alone, you can already tell that Held did exactly as I described him doing. So there's no further context needed. If he wants to blow me out and go ahead and show that the logs show another story, he can just release the logs himself. But he won't do that, and he won't bother with any of that. So, what has the response been from the Kiwis? Because, as we know, there's a thread on me on the site. And it's just been really bizarre. It's not actually all that bizarre. I expected something like this to happen eventually, because at first they were dead quiet. They were silent for several days. And there was like maybe one post in between the streams, and that was it. And I'll be reading off that one as well in a moment. And now they're in full damage control mode. And as we'll see, I'm going to get that up. Put that there to the browser. And let me scroll down so that way we're not covering shit we already went over. Okay. So the first post I'm going to go over was from Friday, as you can see, where this guy called Eerie Ice 36, this is his hot take on this. And you might notice a pattern here where each of these posters references or addresses a specific point. They really can't argue the substantive points that I'm bringing up on these streams. They can't argue against the fact that the Kiwis do gay ops and they actively go out of their way to omit context, and that they're construing narratives and doing everything they can over petty vendettas, and that this pretext that's for justice or it's for the lulz, it's all a lie. It's all a big lie in order to go ahead and gain clout amongst themselves and with the wider public. So that way people recognize them because they want the recognition. They bask in it. That's why they have named accounts. And here we have this guy, Eerie Ice, saying, "Why is it that this dude thinks he can make these pseudo-intellectual statements without having any receipts or evidence that supports his statements? Scratch that. Even if he did have something that supported his statements, it wasn't be used to be presented said evidence as fact. Just fuel his ego and used as confirmation bias. I've never seen anyone mishandle his arguments and pronunciations as badly as JMK. I can understand the mentality of fake it until you make it, but he just fake 24/7. Too fucking retarded to learn anything." Yeah, this guy's a big nerd here. He disagrees with everything I have to say, but he can't actually point out anything I said that was actually wrong. This guy, and this guy has a history of doing this whole debate stuff, as he went ahead and challenged one Jamie Markey, as this guy screen capped here on his Twitter that's now been suspended. He says, "Hey Marchie, you racist hack, unblock me, you degenerate, and debate me. Otherwise, you are just a racist coward that is dumb beyond belief." Yeah, very much the SJW here, calling out the racism and the racism and the triggering things and the jokes and the memes, and apparently something about blackface here. Yeah, this guy, really big brain skeptic, liberalist, individualist. Okay, Eerie Ice, if you talk such a big game, I'll take you up on your challenge. You want to debate me on any of this stuff I've covered on these streams? You go ahead. You can reach out to my Discord, and we'll set up a little debate, and we'll see how intellectual and sophisticated you are with your skills. That would be highly entertaining. And of course, as we know, this guy is not just going to puss out and just walk away and just pretend that he never made these challenges. Moving on. So now we have the guy who created the thread known as Stenographer. And he posted these 3 streams all in one bulk. Thank you for the free promotion. And he just says, "Behold, JMK's series on the dreaded Kiwi farms." And here they are. 3 live streams, John? Didn't realize you cared so much. Oh, I care about a great deal, my friend. I'm going to milk this for content until it stops being funny. And notice he doesn't actually go over what was said on the streams. He doesn't actually go into the points. He doesn't go into any of the hilarious shit that I uncovered, like Jinx wanting Senpai to do a power move on her, or Gravity being a cuck, or Held being a simp. He doesn't go through any of that. He doesn't go through any of the gay ops that the Kiwis are doing behind the scenes with proven evidence presented to establish this. None of that. He just wants to just dismiss it out of hand and out of pocket and just say, no, none of this matters. Oh. Then we got another big brain take here. Does he have anything else to do with his life? I mean, Black Lives Matter riots have probably forced him inside because of the white supremacy. No, he doesn't have anything else to live for. You might notice the other, like, SJW sort of mentality here, calling me a white supremacist without any evidence. This is just great. Great job there, making the Kiwis look good once again. And also, he wants to say that I don't have a life and I'm just looking over dumb shit on the internet. Kiwi Farms is all about looking at dumb shit on the internet. What kind of high horse did you ride in on? Moving to the next guy. For a guy who wants to be such a part of Weebors, he has the most pathetic life. Even Remote Ron has a better life than him, and that's not saying much. Okay, buddy. And here we have somebody actually asking, you might notice that this post has 0 reacts. This is actually a good question that he brings up. Is there any validity to his claims that there is someone named Sushi users are simping for, and that she got users to dox her enemies for her? I may review these streams and give a general summary. I fully welcome you to actually watch the streams because these guys apparently didn't. Maybe they watched snippets or portions of it. If you want to give your general summary, I'll even go ahead and read your summary on here. It'll be funny. Moving down, we have Damien, a moderator for Kiwi Farms. And he's upset here because of something I mentioned on the stream. Hello, I didn't dox Grug. Grug being an individual by the name of Casey. Because I disagree with him. I did it for 3 reasons. 1, he's a retard. Okay, so just ad hominem, continue. 2, I wanted to prove his you had to have used far more than Google dude comment wrong. Wait, did you guys catch that? Let's pause for a second here. I didn't dox him because I disagreed with him. I did it for 3 reasons. And then he goes to his second reason. He says, I wanted to prove his you had to have used far more than Google dude comment wrong. So you did do it because you disagree with him. And the evidence is this, the fact that you wanted to prove him wrong. Huh. So when I called you pathetic for doxing someone just because you disagree with them on the internet, I was right. Thank you for confirming that I was correct in this claim. 3, I thought it'd be funny. It was. Yes, you're a charming and charismatic individual, Damien. Also, stop sending me friend requests on Discord. I'm going to send him another friend request after this stream. 100%. And then we have Anonymous with his big brain take. 6 hours of this nobody spurging about the farms? Ain't nobody gonna watch that shit. I mean, sure, but like, aren't Kiwis all about the context? And then here you have a guy bitching that he's not even gonna bother to watch it, but he's gonna shit talk me. Okay, buddy. This is the same guy, by the way, that got blown out by Mike Dumford. I don't have that readily available, but it was posted on the farms, and he got laughed by everyone else in the community for it. And it was funny as fuck. This guy here, Sparta, complains that he didn't get a cameo. You are welcome to have your cameo now. Then we have generic reviewer Draco again. And this guy says, I just decided to hurt myself today and skimmed through that video. He's triggered this hard by me calling him a sister fister. It has some credibility, even if Spectre is a moron who jumped the gun. Then he swerves into hackneyed kick Vic talking points. Wow. Huh, that's funny because I thought the whole point of I Stand with Vic was to stand up against, slanderous accusations and stuff like that. And the thing about Spectre being a moron, well, I mean, if you want to go ahead and say he's credible despite the fact that Spectre used fake evidence to go ahead and smear me as a pedophile, and this was debunked to the point where he took down the videos. Twice he took them down. I mean, then you can just as easily say that Ron Toye's comments, Jamie Marshy's comments, Monica Rial's comments, etc., so on and so forth, are all valid and have some credibility to them. I don't think this guy realizes that the whole point of me calling him out was to point out his hypocrisy. He's a dunce. And and by the way, the other point of that was that when you call me an alleged this or that thing, there has to be an allegation behind it. If you're the first one to make it, that just makes you a liar. And again, it just cements the point I made last time that he so desperately wants this to be true. It's funny. Then stenographer comes back, and this is where the damage control kicks in. He can't kicks in because now he sees that someone's actually looking into this. And he sees that people aren't taking kindly to what's going on here. And then he links a thread to the Gothic Sushi's thread. And then he says, for the record, Gothic Sushi, say hello to Kitten Pop Tart, did provide details about Prince Vegeta with the DMs he sent her. We're going to go back to this in a moment because it's kind of funny. But that was long after he was doxxed. Yet, she kept stalling regarding details about a former friend, Lauren C. Cosplay, that was allegedly part of Dominic Sky's Kadar. While she wanted to dox her enemies, none actually were because she didn't cough up evidence for certain claims or clarify others. Get that straight, John, and she became more suspicious as time went on. So, wait a minute. He wants to say I'm wrong because nobody got doxed, but by Gothic Sushi's request, but somebody did get doxxed. Remember that guy? Let me see if I could find that image. Let me actually add that on the fly. Because didn't have everything prepped properly. Didn't have everything ready to go. So you're just gonna have to bear with me for another quick second. All right, here it is. Yeah, that's right. This is posted on the farms. You see that? Let me show this. This is posted in her thread, ironically enough. This guy, in private, gave her his phone number, and they published it for everyone to see. This image you can find in her thread on Kiwi Farms. So yeah, they actually did dox someone. So, stenographer, you're just a liar. Sorry. And furthermore, the other problem with this is that Held offered the services in the first place and looked into her. Looked into these people for her at her behest. So simping is confirmed by your own admission, stenographer. So no, I didn't get anything wrong. Just because the doxes that they dug up and looked into weren't published to the farms doesn't mean they followed through with her requests, and doesn't mean that they offered those requests willingly. Because she was a woman on the internet standing up for Vic, and they wanted to get on her good side. So, yeah, thanks for confirming this. That's all I have to say. The funny thing about this part here, this gives us a link to a docs, which I won't show on screen. So let me real quick open a new tab, and let me get that link. Let's see where it is. Copy paste that. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's fucking Held. Again, under his Kiwi Farms account. And you can tell it's him because of the stupid German stuff. Guten Tag. And he shows this guy was doxxed by him. Yeah. So that's another person that was, that Gothic Sushi, well, apparently he was doxxed before Gothic Sushi contacted them, but she gave them information, gave them more information onto it. So a little extra doxing doesn't, wait. Oh, okay. So I guess, stenographer is twice a liar, huh? Let me put it like that. Indeed. So he goes ahead and he points out that Gothic Sushi told a bunch of lies, which, as I've said before, I'm not taking up for Gothic Sushi. The reality about Gothic Sushi is that, yeah, she has done stupid things. Give me a second. I forgot to remove that. I apologize. And I'm just going to show the Held image again, just to be clear that it's him, just to show I'm not leaving anything out. And yeah, this is one of the people that Gothic Sushi requested be doxxed, and she gave them more information, and they add that information to the docs. So yeah. Mr. Dongs in chat said, I thought they were giving her information. I'm sorry if you're too brain dead to follow, but I already explained it. I'm not going to explain it again for your etiquette. All right. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and look into... We're going to go back to another thing about all this that's funny to me. Now, everyone on this thing is the accusation of being a pedophile, right? That certain people, certain exceptional individuals here desperately want to cling to, even if there's no evidence to back it up whatsoever, is interesting to me that the Kiwis of all people would throw this out there and that they would be getting involved with hunting pedophiles and going after people like that. Because the site owner himself, Joshua Connor Moon, as many of you are familiar with, has some pretty sticky allegations against him. Yeah. The guy who's behind defending Vic, a credibly alleged pedophile, and other sexual rapists and, other people who are also pedophiles. And they also hunt pedophiles at the same time, so they want to be judging people, etc. When you get down to it, Joshua Moon has his own set of allegations, and there's also another image I would like to show on that note, because just to help further segue us into this, something that Held told me about his thoughts about his boss, which I will bring up in a moment. Hang on a second. I'm gonna figure out a way to do this. Give me a moment. Like I said, guys, I didn't prepare as much as I should have for this one. Fully admit to that. My fuck up. Not gonna try to dance around it. The God Spectre in chat says, stop calling Vic a pedo, John. No. Let me look for the thing. Let me straight up show you something. Something I didn't show you from Held's DMs from last time that you'll find hilarious. Okay. All right, let me switch to my Discord, and hopefully this won't be fucked up. There we go. This is my DMs with Held, and this is on before all this shit happened, before all the streams happened, that is. This is on July 22nd, 2020. This is me. I say, also, a particular thing I detest about Kiwi Farms is Josh, and I give a link to a PPP stream that had Josh on. By the way, shout out to PPP. I think he's hilarious. I like the stuff he does. The guy just never stops, and he keeps going. I think he's on DLive now. I know you can watch him on BitChute. Go watch his stuff. He's great. If you like this kind of drama type content, etc., you'll like PPP. And he's also one of the most honest individual he is. He's a bit spurgy, yes, and he does have like a few hits and misses here and there, but overall, like the guy. Then I go on. Listen to this faggot whine on air as he pretends to know the ins and outs of the internet. Listening to too many podcasts and videos to count, as well as having talked to numerous autists and shut-ins over the internet, I've heard hundreds of voices that come off as entirely emasculated. Of all the voices I have ever listened to, Joshua Moon sounds like the weakest out of all of them. Like his balls not only never dropped, but he speaks through a straw that has been itself filled with some kind of sludge material as he putters out middle-browed takes as he attempts to use a slightly above average vocabulary to make up for being a soy boy. Then Held links me, for reasons that I'm not clear on, Jinx's Discord, and as a result of, and I did not join it, and then Held continues, he quotes me and pretty much just doesn't contradict anything, and he adds his own 2 cents. And he says here, most of the old god doesn't like Null. I don't like him myself. He's retarded. I have many different things I don't like about him. I personally just wait for the day he will either sell or burn the forum down. I like the forum, but I don't have to engage with Null. So yeah, Held doesn't like Null. Interesting. And I don't think a great many people like Null at all. That's very, very interesting to me. And I think there's good reason not to like Null, aka Joshua Connor Moon, who I now explain it in a bit more detail. Switch here. Give me a quick minute. Okay, I got something funny in my DMs. I might share it. I can't guarantee it though. All right. But aside from that, when it comes to Joshua Connor Moon, he is the owner of Kiwi Farms, and he has run the site, and he has been doing some other projects and things like Mad the Internet Show, and like apparently he has quote unquote all kinds of like money sort of things that he makes. I don't know if any of that's true. He's a loser. He doesn't have a life. He complains and whines on his Discord and on the forums about how terrible his life is, and recently made a big blog post that I'm not even gonna bother showing. Maybe next time, because it might be a little bit lousy, but it's very long-winded and stuff, and we got some more pertinent things to look at. The farms has become his life, and managing it has become this thing he has to do in order to have that e-clout that he so desperately craves, in order to get attention, in order to feel validated he's doing something in this world. He pretends that he's all about free speech and stuff like that, but really, he doesn't give a shit about free speech. Like, let's be honest here, he just wants attention and popularity. And honestly, his version of free speech is free speech absolutism. That meaning that, not that people can say their opinions and say what they want to say and do things in a lawfully abiding manner that society agrees upon, like, how rights should be. But he thinks that everything's okay. That's why he hosts a website that is dedicated to doxing and trying to intimidate people and trying to play these gay ops schemes. That's why he goes ahead and he defends child porn. Yeah, you heard me. And we're going to get to the evidence of that in just a second. Let me just queue up some things, because we're going to go through various points of Josh's past, and all of them are going to be particularly relevant. And a lot of this stuff is, I'm also going to note that we're not going to get the full story on this stream. We will be covering Josh in more detail on future streams, because he owns the site, so he's going to be a very relevant figure, more relevant than any other person I've talked about on these streams. And we're going to go into, first, the Blockland shit. And let me show that. Now, this is an individual named Stocking, who was 14 at the time that she made this post. And she says here, all right, so we all know that, Joshua Moon, IBAN/IBAN, has returned at City RPG, supposedly turned over a new leaf or something, despite being the same pan-level borderline rapist and suicide historian he's always been. Most of us have already seen the following conversation with Colton about his Shota habits, but I'll post it for those that haven't seen. Now, what I'm about to read to you is slightly disturbing, but aside from that, Josh does not deny the veracity of these logs. That's important to know. If there was a question about the authenticity of this stuff, I wouldn't show it, but Josh has admitted that this stuff is true, that he said these things that I'm about to read. Josh, all right, time to jerk off to some Neko Shota. Yeah, I far got it up, I know. Frowny face, be right back. Wait, I thought you hated furries. Neko is not furry, guys. I just Googled it. It was a half cat, half boy. A single ambidage is not equivalent to a dog with some human features, and that's not why I hate furries. And then there's a link to an example here. Also, they are all little boys. Shocked face. Hence the word Shota. Yes. You need to learn your lingo. But a boy jacking off to a boy? Regular doesn't cut it anymore. I drench my sorrows in procrastination so often that it becomes too hard to get off to hetero level. What the fuck is this shit? I'm sorry. I see this. Sorry to break this the reading of the text logs, but this Lavul, I don't understand this shit. If someone wants to explain this to me, be my guest. Also, good time to address the chat. John Kelly, off topic, but what's your take on Crown T? Crown T did some stupid shit back in the day, and he got bullied off the internet for it for a while. Has he actually succeeded in getting a redemption arc? I don't know. That's going to be up to you to decide. I've seen his recent content. I'm not going to co-sign his opinions on it, but when he gets his head out of the drama and just focuses on his own work, he's a decent guy, or a half-decent guy at the very least. So I don't really have much strong opinions about Crown T. It's been so long ago that drama is kind of something I don't really care about anymore for the most part. But yeah, Crown T did do some shit back in the day. He did the gay ops shit. And maybe I can go into more detail about what I think about that if people are really interested. But at the end of the day, it's been like, what, 3 years ago at this point? So that's all I got to say about Crown T at this point now. All right. So actually, let me read off a few more comments in the chat, or at least one more. Vic is just one of those aggressive bisexual gays that doesn't know when to not touch and always down for a good groping. It's not his fault, guys. Okay, that's a good. I like that. I don't know if I fully agree with that, Caesar, but I do like that take. Actually, I'm going to read one more thing. Are you forgetting that after he got caught, he came back to literally go gay ops again and got caught again? Oh, yeah, that shit. No, I'm not forgetting that. Yeah, that's a good thing to mention, too. He did do the gay ops shit with Ralph. But the weird thing about that is that if they actually looked a little deeper, they would have found out that Ralph was guilty of some of the shit they were accusing him of. They just had really bad, faked, forged evidence that they were using. And I can either think of one of two possibilities of that. Either people sent them fake evidence and they just ran with it, or they just made it up themselves and went with that. I don't know which is worse, if they were just malicious enough to forge that and expected that to work, or if they got duped by somebody else. Your call with that. Black Pigeon speaks, pay a little bit more closer attention to the points that were made in those videos. They have a point, they just don't execute it very well because they're caught up in histrionics instead of paying attention to the substantive points about it. Alright, but that's enough about Kraut and T for now. And again, I'm not saying that Kraut is worthy of redemption arc. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you think he's worthy of redemption arc, that's on you. I just don't really care about Kraut. I just don't even think about Kraut these days. Where was I? Oh yeah, Josh. I drench my sorrows in procrastination so often that it becomes too hard to get off to heterosexual intercourse for the sole purpose of reproduction. You need to expand your research graphic interest if you do it too often. Oh, okay, so I'll go over to /me and start jerking off. Or /men or whatever. I've done it, and he looks shocked. Besides being a blatant homosexual child enthusiast, and I mean that in the most mature and literal sense, the dude is a loving psycho. Anyone who's known me has seen the conversation logs I've been copy-pasting around where he graphically described how he'd like to brutally rape and mutilate me and pretty much any former that pissed him off on a former being a forum member that pissed him off on a certain day. His entire relationship he had with me was mostly out of pity on my part, which Joshua Moon sums up quite nicely when describing his depression. The depression was stemming from a lack of social activity and belonging combined with low income and no future. Well, this is funny how nothing has fucking changed since then. Josh is still struggling with money. It's funny. I wanted to belong with you, and you never rejected me. Just like sidestepped constantly, a full wall of text ignored here, an issue not responded to here, and just, you kept doing that. I had to say stuff like that to get you to listen, to get you to respond. Your mothering instinct is the only nerve besides your looks I could pinch to get you to knee-jerk react reliably. Oh, that is pathetic. Imagine being a 20-year-old dude and, like, going to a 14-year-old girl and saying all this shit to her. Man, this is... this is cringy. Wesley says, kick the gamer hands sped in the live chat. Nah, he can shitpost if he wants to. I don't really care. For a long time now, he's been showering me with gifts and attention I never really asked for in between his suicide rants and his mass murder nuptials, which he's admitted was all for attention. I never really paid him, however, much of the chagrin of Mr. Moon. And when he'd confess his love for me, and I wouldn't respond, I'd come back home to a tirade like this on my open Steam window. God damn it. I don't understand why nobody can fucking love me for who I am. Nobody. My parents, my grandparents, everyone I've ever fucking met. I swear to God, I want to kill and rape as many people as I can before getting gunned down by SWAT. That needs to be my life aspiration. You stupid loving fucking cunts need to suffer. I like how this forum censors fucking but not cunts. That's, okay, whatever. You stupid fucking cunts need to suffer. All living things with a vagina. Oh, man. In an alternate universe, in an alternate timeline, this is some really big tinfoil, big brain speculation here. But in an alternate timeline, Joshua Moon is Elliot Rogers. And Elliot Rogers is off making a gossip website. I'm willing to bet that Elliot Rogers would probably make a better gossip website than Joshua Moon. But the fact that Joshua Moon would say something so cringy as he wants to be gunned down by SWAT and rape and murder every single woman on the planet. I just can't. Oh, man. I mean, maybe I should be taking this a little bit more seriously, given like some of the other stuff I'm going to reveal. But I didn't realize how fucking funny this was until I read it out loud. There's a reason nobody loves Joshua Moon, and that's not because he's fat, ugly, or socially awkward. It's because he's a freak. And then this is a quote from Stalking somewhere else on the forum. I remember after he found out my last name, he said that he'd show up to my house while I was at school, shoot my dad, and wait for me to get home. Then he'd subdue me, cut off each individual digit with a knife, heat it in hot grease so that I'd cauterize as it cut and I won't bleed out. Then he cut out my clitoris and my labia, and then rape my ass until I oh my, ugh. I feel dirty saying that. Then he just leave me to starve to death or something once. Okay, all right. I can't meme this. This isn't funny at this point. This is a 14-year-old girl. Josh is 20. What the fuck? Okay, like, no, I can't read that and laugh at it. It's just too fucking disturbing, frankly. And I'm not playing it up. I just feel a pit in my stomach looking at that shit. Yeah. And if you need confirmation that Josh is 20 based on the age, because Josh's defense for this is that he was 14 going through a gauge phase. Firstly, I don't give a fuck he was 14. This is disturbing. This is fucked up shit. And secondly, Josh was 20, and I can prove that because he admitted to it. Give me a second. Right here, in this archived tweet. I am 27 years old, and just today discovered that the white puffball seed things are just dandelions in a mature stage. This was this year, he said this. So he had to be 19 going on 20. Around that age range. And he said this fucked up shit to her. And you got to remember, you have to keep in mind, Josh does not deny the veracity of these claims. He later on, somewhere in the thread, shows pictures of this girl with her, like, showing her belly button. She's 14. This guy owns Kiwi farms and wants to lecture you which pedophiles to go after and which pedophiles to defend. That's his game. Like, seriously, this is the guy that Nick Rekieta invites to live streams. Okay? Let's be real here. You guys want to talk about serious issues like pedophilia, and you want to talk about when is a credible accusation versus when it is not a credible accusation, have some fucking consistency. Like, this is not something to be swept up and brushed under the rug because John Kelly said it. He's a spurg. Like, other people have pointed this shit out before me, and still nothing happens. I guess because maybe, they love free speech absolutism. Apparently that means promoting pedophilic shit. All right. Enough about that rant. I'm going to keep on reading through the rest of this post, and then I'm going to go ahead and look at some other shit that Josh has been involved with through the years. So you know this is not just a one-off, he's cured of his mental illnesses guys thing, okay? And the other stuff probably might be even a little bit more disturbing. Okay. And Josh's defense for this was, I was really mad that day. Wow, amazing. He's mad all the time. Atticon, Colton, Nicolab, Ultra, Bishik, and Otis have seen the kind of sick, twisted stuff he says to people in his bipolar fits of rage. Speaking of Nicolaba Ultra, IBAN has an intense hatred for Nick literally because I paid more attention to him. Actually, the most depressing thing about this conversation was knowing that I'm second rate to someone like fucking General Nick. That alone is a death warrant. Jealousy and pessimism define you. I'm jealous in the same sense that if a jeweler and a farmer offered a diamond ring and a bag of cow stuff, respectively, to a girl as a gift of engagement, and the farmer was chosen over the jeweler would be somewhat upset. And you call me unconfident. I know I shouldn't be laughing. I know I shouldn't be fucking laughing at this shit. But still, I can't help but find it a little bit funny. And I believe Josh deserves this level of ridicule. Because that's just... Alright, moving on from that. And you call me unconfident. Yeah, except you aren't a jeweler, and Nick isn't a farmer. You have such a high and completely unwarranted opinion of yourself. I thought I had no confidence. You haven't accomplished anything in your life, but you think you're better than everyone else. I think I'm better than General Nick. I'm inferior to the vast majority of society. He got the last bit right, but any mention of Nicolab in the conversation sent him into a butt rage. You're tabby between me and General Nick right now. You know that Nick would love to seduce you. Take your clothes off, one piece at a time, while sucking on your neck. You don't have to fight for people to care about you. You are a woman. Nick has been in bed for an hour. You inherently have people ready to talk to you. Oh, well still, forget you. He's probably masturbating as we speak to the thought of giving you a pearl necklace, and I don't mean the accessory. Smooth. Yeah, but you can't preach from a high horse and say how you're not getting your dues when you've been nice. I never attack you the way you do me. The worst I do is downplay what you believe to be super serious drama. No, the worst you do is ignore me all the time. When I try talking to you and devoting all of my off time from work to you, you take your time responding. played with Nick. I gave you everything I could, and you were like, meh, boring, yawn. Paranoia and rage at somebody who I played Warhammer 40k with for like 2 weeks, and because Nick got more attention. Joshua Moon was and had consistently been a weird, paranoid forget-twit who wouldn't shut the fuck up about Nick. And more recently, take my current version, block stalking Nick and Tony in the thread listings, and topic summary are while posting. We'll later get to remove them from the last post area on both main board and board listings. To account for the whole personal agendas thing in this thread, the new Blockline community script as bright as its future is being completely abused to push IBAN's own agenda against me. I talked to King Daro a bit about it the other day, and a paranoia is defined as an irrational fear. My predictions were merely divination. And then there's this post here. Right now, IBAN has the power to ban people almost. He's going to start releasing one that blocks all trolls. It'll be the only one that people download, and it's going to block people like Lord Tony, Nick, Chrono, and me. Watch him weasel someone else in there too. Give me a second. Okay. As witnessed the very next day when IBAN added me to a list of people automatically blocked by the new Grease Monkey script, and then shows added by default are Lord Tony and Stocking. To remove these filters, click their profiles and then remove this user from your block list. Nobody asked that I'd be added as a default, and it makes a lot of sense they haven't. The reason the bronies developed the script was to block Tony's posts in the pony thread. Okay, so this goes through some forum drama that I'm just going to not really read into because it's not important. There's going to be more of this Blockland stuff that gets worse, and I'll have to consider if I want to show it or not, because it's kind of like you have this guy who admits to looking up like for all you guys who are against Lolicon, because you should be against Lolicon, don't get me wrong, but for all you guys saying that if you look at Lolicon, you're exactly the same as a pedophile, yeah, this guy admits to jacking it to Shota porn. Yeah. Firstly. And secondly, he's harassing this 14-year-old girl when he's 19 or 20. So that's strike one against Josh right there. So I would read more into the Blockland stuff, but I think we can save that for a future stream. I'm going to link the Blockland thread in the description so you can make up your own mind about it. Also, Joshua Moon does not deny the text logs at all. None of that. And it's there for the record. It's been well documented. So no, this isn't me taking it out of context. This isn't like fake logs or anything like that. These aren't even contested logs. This is what actually happened. So for the next thing I'm going to show, I got to explain a little bit of backstory involving a website called 8chan. For those who don't know, 8chan was run by predominantly by two guys. It was run by a guy called, I believe his name was Frederick Brennan, and another guy called Joshua Moon, which is the same Josh as the guy from Blockland. Now, what happened with 8chan was 8chan was pretty much there was a lot of people covering 8chan very extensively, very heavily over allegations of harassment and other shit like that. But the more serious allegations involve pedophilia again. And this is relevant for a couple of reasons. The first reason being, and let me get those links while I talk. The first reason being that 8chan was removed for Lolicon stuff, but it gets a little bit more in depth than that. Give me a second. Oh, sorry, I should explain what was removed from. It was removed from Patreon because for a few months you could actually support 8chan by going to Patreon. That was until Patreon got wind about some of the stuff that was going on the website, and they realized, whoa, wait a minute. That's a little no, let's not do that. And this isn't some bullshit about Patreon being overly SJW about this stuff. This is some serious shit, which I'm going to show. So first we have Hot Wheels saying, due to a message from Patreon, 8chan is no longer associated with Patreon. And other news, please help me support my cat. And this is when he tried to be sneaky about it by switching his Patreon from supporting a website to supporting his cat. That didn't work out because the Patreon guys were like, no thanks. And the thing is, Patreon actually gave this guy and Joshua Moon by extension, because he also worked on the site, an out. And let me get this post here, because you can't read this post anymore, but an archive exists. And I do have that archive. So give me a quick moment. Okay, let me just post it here. We'll get to this. And this is a post by Sam Yam, the co-founder of Patreon, telling, wait, Mike Cernovich? Huh, that's weird. Mike Cernovich, 8chan's lawyer? Oh, what happened to that? Oh, it's a little curiosity there. But that's a story for another day. He's telling Mike Cernovich about what happened, why he was removed, and Mike Cernovich says that tries to make the case it was because he was disabled, and he says, nothing with Frederick, he's been fine. We've sent out emails to more than just him. For 8chan, it's drawings of child sex. But it's a little bit more involved than just that. Because, as you will read here, or as I will read, Frederick says, we understand your dedication to free speech in principle. This is the email he got from the Patreon team that he shares. We understand your dedication to free speech in principle, but 8chan is currently being used for a number of activities that violate our new community guidelines. Because we've read your interviews and done significant research on 8chan's story and philosophy, we are aware that you yourself don't verbally support a lot of the activities on 8chan. It sounds like free speech is a core value for you, and you're willing to prioritize that principle above all else. While we understand your commitment to free speech, we will not allow 8chan to continue using Patreon, as several boards facilitate the distribution of harmful content and activity, such as illustrated child exploitation imagery. Other violations include facilitating the promotion and or encouragement to commit self-harm, and facilitating the promotion and or encouragement of pedophilia practices. That's right, 8chan was allowing its website to be used by pedophiles to promote pedophilia. While we are aware that the illustrated child exploitation imagery is not illegal in the United States, we take a strict stance, regardless of the law, on the use of Patreon to fund or facilitate its distribution. Because 8chan in its current state violates our community guidelines, we will be removing your page from Patreon at the end of the month after the next payment cycle. If you feel like our decision was based on false information, if you'd like to change 8chan's content policies, or if you have further questions, please feel free to email us back. The Patreon team. So let's be very clear here. 8chan was being used as a hub by pedophiles. Yeah, that's right. That's what it was being used for. And that's why it got taken off. And furthermore, in addition to that, and you have to remember, Joshua Moon was like the number 2 guy for this website. This was before it was bought out by Jim Watkins, by the way. Or was it? Don't quote me on that one. I might have the timeline wrong. But the point is, Joshua Moon was a key figure of 8chan and was helping develop and code the site. So he was aware of all this, and he allowed it with Frederick Brennan. That has to be kept in mind. Furthermore, there's another issue, which let me show that. Let me just pull that up. See, I'm not done yet, because Frederick Brennan in like 2016, I think it was, developed a website called 16chan after he got booted off of 8chan due to some drama where he couldn't actually code and deliver Infinity Next because apparently he can't code. Who thought that a guy who's been involved with harassing a 14-year-old girl is a loser struggling for money can't code? Big surprise, I know. He came up with this other website called 16chan. Let me just read it off to you. 16chan is an image board running Infinity Next, the software originally designated to replace what 8chan runs on. Infinity Next failed to be developed to 8chan because of politician tensions between Frederick Brennan, Hot Wheels, Jim Watkins, 2chan and 8chan proprietor, and myself. And he gives a link to his website. When Jim Watkins threatened to quote unquote shut down 8chan, I bought this website and this other website and popped up the site with the idea of running it with Frederick should Jim kill the site. It was a backup plan and insurance policy. While Jim has yet to shut down 8chan, Frederick was removed from adminship of his own website and has opted to work with Jim as a technical assist. As such, he plays no role in 16chan. This leaves 16chan with me as the sole proprietor, borrowing hands-off support from allies like the Chinese mafia. Rules. The rules here are very simple. And I'm going to go over these because it's important to have the full context. 1. Don't break the law. Don't break international United States or Romanian law. This, in most cases, restricts 2 things. Don't make actionable threats of violence or terrorism. Don't post child pornography. Oh, okay, wait, hold on to that thought. Because, okay, so this is a cool, safer version of 8chan, where 8chan would have, pedophiles go onto boards and, talk shop about pedophilia shit and, share images of lolicon with each other and network with each other. This site's going to be different this time. There's a don't spam policy, but wait a minute. Contain pedophilia is number 3. Keep this in mind. Pedophilia must be contained within boards exclusively about child fetishism. Wait, what? Boards about pedophilia must be text only, no images. Threads about children, especially ones with photos, would violate this rule. This includes, but is not limited to, threads for posting pictures of prepubescent children in any context, pictures of prepubescent or very young children that are very obviously meant to arouse pedophiles, and threads that obsess over children, like a TV board thread about child actors. See here? Meaning, pedophilia is a blight that ruins venues for free speech. Frederick made a mistake by tolerating it. I will not do the same. This does not extend to drawn images unless drawn in the likeness of a real child as per U.S. federal law. So Lolicon's okay. Just want to make that clear. Lolicon's still okay. You can still have your own pedophilia boards, including the /file board. And you could have your little pedophile hangouts on Joshua Moon's new website, 16chan, now that 8chan decided that all the pedophilia shit there would have an actual zero tolerance policy rather than a pretend one with this website. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here, to make this very, very clear, you have a guy with a history with pedophilia and in the form of harassing a 14-year-old girl when he was 20. Then, years later, he gets on board in 2014, 2 years later, he gets on board in 2014 with a website that has pedophile hubs on it. When those pedophile hubs are kicked off the website, he invents his own website where there are pedophile hubs. And you might remember earlier how Joshua Moon said that he has all these little internet operations where he can go ahead and make money. Now, this is where I'm going to go a little tinfoil and speculative. Don't quote me on this. This isn't proven fact. This is an X-File, guys, okay? Is it so unlikely that Joshua Moon set up these pedophile hubs to go ahead, recruit pedophiles, so we can go ahead and trade actual child pornography with them or other illicit services of that nature, being a free speech absolutist and all that? Because, free speech absolutism would include child porn. So yeah, I guess I did have some fun making fun of Joshua Moon and all that shit, but what's the moral? What's the takeaway here? The very top of Kiwi Farms is not only just a loser and a guy who does the stupid, runs this website where autists can extort other autists, but in addition to that, there is credible evidence to show that he is a pedophile. So yeah, the very top of this food chain is rotten and corrupt. Man. Oh man, that's kind of dark, guys. Yeah, this is not a little lighthearted and fun. But all right, let me look through some of the chat, see if there's any relevant points. I see people are like arguing over some dumb shit. Wait a minute. Nah. I have to put this on screen. Is this really what a read it is? Give me a second. Okay, did Spirit actually admit to hitting on a 14-year-old? Or is this just a meme? I'm not sure. I may have to cover that in the next stream I do. Holy shit. Spirit, get some fucking help. You need it. All right. With that being said, I'm going to play a clip to lighten the mood for the next stream, I guess. Hopefully next one won't be as... will be more lighthearted. I will continue investigating into Joshua Moon. And again, I want to emphasize something. If I got anything wrong, if I left anything out, hit me up. Let me know. I'll correct the record as I always try to do. A lot of people seem to just be content with bitching about me missing context and stuff, but not actually coming to me about that stuff. Some of you are good with that, though. I'll give you that. In fact, there's more people that are actually being better with that, understanding, oh, wait, if John got something wrong, we can always go to him and point that out. And like I said, the problem with the people that want to just dismiss me as everything I say is wrong is if they actually took an objective view of things, they would see that most of the time I'm right. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait, I gotta read this. Okay, sorry, I gotta read this. He said, if I did hit on a 14-year-old, it was joking. Oh, man. Oh, that is funny. Did he really say that? Let me just look up. Oh, did Spirit really say that? Oh, okay, so Spirit in the chat says, I didn't hit on no 14-year-old. If I did it jokingly. Otherwise, go back to simping. So wait a minute, Spirit. If I did it jokingly. I can 100% with full confidence say I never hit it on a 14-year-old girl. Ever. What are you talking about? You jokingly hit it on a 14-year-old girl. Are you kidding me, man? Dude. Like, I don't expect... Like, how do you do this to yourself? Man, you just shot yourself in the head. Everyone's going to know you're a pedo now. It's been documented on this stream. Oh, man. Okay. Maybe I'll just showcase that for next time, just to see what people are missing. So with that out of the way, with that being said, I hope you found the stream enlightening. I hope you found it entertaining. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I'll try to do another stream soon. Maybe we'll hunt more Kiwis. Maybe we'll look into some other matters that are a little less drama-inducing, I guess. And I'm going to find a clip for you guys that I'm just going to play. You just need to hear the audio of it. I just need to find it. And find it I shall. Let me see. If I can get this up, it's pretty funny. Just so you know, I'm not exaggerating about the Josh having a very weak voice thing. All right. Have a good night, everybody. I'm going to play the clip, and then I'm going to end the stream. Have a good night.
Because this guy has really pissed me off. And I try not to be petty. I try not to be vindictive. But this guy is really, really stepping on some toes. And I feel like I'm in an opportunity to be helpful to people. I'm going to be helpful.